My name is Mark Ritchie. I am the founder and the partnership lead of Learners Engaged. I'm based in the Pacific Northwest. We have with us today Sam Jockle. She is the founder and CEO of ParentTV, and she's from Down Under.
Hello, everyone. It's awesome to be here.
Thank you for joining us today, Sam. And we have Robert Karmelich. He's based in Nevada. He works with Learners Engaged.
Good afternoon.
And we also have Jeremy Link. Jeremy was actually one of my colleagues at Baker and Taylor in the past as well. And he's based in Michigan.
That is not my real background.
So cool. So today what we're going to talk about is Parent TV. I'm super excited to talk about Parent TV. It's it's a very meaningful outcome-based solution for libraries to deliver parenting support at scale. And I can tell you firsthand, as a parent, I have two boys, 5 and 10 years old, and they are an absolute handful. And um, every day of parenting is sometimes feels a lot like guesswork. And so, having a tool like Parent TV, even just for myself personally, has been impactful. So this is something that, I know confidently that we can get behind, and we believe on the impact that it has on communities and individuals. So just as far as Learners Engaged goes, if you're not familiar with who we are, so we are a new library support partner. We really focus on e-resources that can deliver outcomes and impacts. Really we want to focus on engaging, innovating, and growth for communities through meaningful content. And really, with Parent TV, it's evidence-based content that really delivers strong outcomes. And what's amazing about Parent TV for libraries is that, it's scalable, it's accessible for families, for communities, it's low burden for your staff. And Sam's going to talk more about how her and her team support the libraries in weekly marketing kits and really making sure they do a lot of the heavy lifting for your staff. And it's also aligned with a lot of the local priorities around family support, children, supporting children, but also mental health and wellness. And then it's also very impactful across different sectors, right? So Parent TV is not something that we just keep locked down for library patrons. We give a lot of flexibility to support, schools. It could be healthcare facilities, reintegration programs. So it's really a full community resource that can support all different spaces in your community. And to kind of set the stage, I'm just gonna cover a couple slides just to set the stage of Parent TV. You know, when we look at our lives and our legacies, the greatest legacy that we leave our children is ourselves in them. And I think this quote is extremely impactful. I mean, children develop themselves through relationships. So the confidence, their behavior, their resilience, the sense of security, and it's all shaped around those relationships that they have with adults on a daily basis. So whether that be a parent, a caregiver, a teacher, these are the individuals who are impacting the way that they're going to be shaped. And so, when we talk about supporting children and families, maybe the one of the most impactful ways we can do that is by supporting adults, supporting parents who engage with them on a daily basis. We invest in children, we often overlook the adults raising them. And I've seen this a lot in a lot of the libraries that I've worked with in the past. There's always a lot of programming, a lot of services for children, but sometimes it's the parents that are overlooked but actually need the most support to help themselves, help their families, help their children. And so we want to bring that idea to the table that if we want stronger outcomes for children, not just today, but in the future, perhaps the most effective place to start is going to be with the parents. And there's been a lot of research about the impact of digital parenting and support. The research shows that digital parenting programs increase parents' confidence and sense of support across all stages of parenting. And it's really important that when you look at these e-resources, and the research shows that it needs to be credible, it needs to be structured, and it needs to be easy for parents to access on their own time and on their own schedule. So we see from these reports is that the self-efficacy increases for a parent, greater confidence in their ability to handle changes, how to respond to different situations, the social support, they have a reduced feeling of isolation among new and experienced parents. And then the depressive symptoms also decrease. So lower levels of stress, being able to manage a situation and being able to work through a lot of these key transitions that they may be experiencing through their parenting journey. The last part here is, the missing layer in child outcomes is parenting support. And, as libraries are actively involved in their communities, and not just libraries, but, whether it be, school districts, health authorities, all of these systems, they're very well positioned in their communities. They're trusted. They provide equitable, community access. They're serving families and individuals and children at scale. So additional parenting support is just a natural extension of that role. So, what this kind of looks like in practice, through a tool like ParentTV, which Sam's going to join us and talk about here in just a moment, is that it's going to provide them with confidence, with trusted expert content. So the platform itself covers more than 2,000 expert videos. There's more than 370 of those videos are multilingual, comes in series, it comes in courses. And these experts, they come from all different parts of the world, but mostly from the US, Canada, and Australia. And these experts are child development specialists, children's psychologists, mental health and wellness, parenting coaches, and more. And also the topics that ParentTV covers, literally the whole journey from A to Z of a parent. So it could be a new mother going through postpartum, to a death in the family, to children going through puberty or bullying, anxiety, but really topics across behavior, emotional well-being, and family life. So everything that you're going to find is going to be very practical, very, very relatable. And currently in the US, there's actually more than 200 libraries in North America who have already implemented ParentTV. So I'm going to invite my friend Sam from ParentTV to give us a short overview of the platform and tell us more.
Thanks so much, Mark. I always love sitting back hearing other people talk about ParentTV. It's like, oh, that's nice. So, yes, as Mark said, I am the founder of ParentTV. We've been around for about 10 years now. So, yeah, quite a while. I like to think about it a little bit. I say it's kind of like Netflix, but for parenting resources. So we've brought together some of the world's leading parenting educators, just all in that one place. And really that was born out of, before I founded ParentTV, I founded 2 online communities. So I actually have 3 children myself that are now 18, 15, and 11. And so going back to when my eldest daughter was maybe 1, 2, or 3, kind of Facebook was starting to emerge. I had a background in community development and social work. I was at home with her and thought, going online seemed to be something that we did back then to even still connect with people and have conversations. And so I ended up starting a community online, and this is going back 15, 16 years. that ended up growing to 650,000 parents, which was obviously quite significant. And they were Facebook pages and blogs and things like that. And during that time of running those communities and developing out that in and of itself, it became really obvious to me that people were going, or parents were going online and asking for help. But when it's contained to social media and just search, it was pretty much a very strong choose your own adventure. And you never quite knew what was going to come back at you, whether it was trusted or not. And I think even now in the age of like fake news and fake information, it's just really hard to tell what's credible and what's not. And that's kind of where I really saw that there needed to be some kind of brand or some kind of resource available that was guaranteed, trusted, credible support for parents, that was bringing them the latest kind of research-based information around child development. And that's kind of where ParentTV started. So ParentTV doesn't have a voice of its own. I just say we're the microphone to the credible voices. And mostly we work with allied health professionals, psychologists, psychiatrists, pediatricians, occupational therapists. So nobody on our platform, it's not like YouTube, anyone can just put anything up they like. Everything is vetted by us. Everything is put up by us. We film a bulk of the videos ourselves. And so that's kind of, I guess, the promise of ParentTV: credibility. It's quick to find what you're looking for. Most of the videos only go for 5 to 10 kind of minutes. So it's short, sharp, and to the point, just answering the questions parents are asking. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm actually going to show you what that looks like in real life, which will be fun. Okay. So I'm assuming that you can see my screen. What you're seeing here is kind of like a library or a white label login. So we've created technology that allows libraries and institutions to actually create their own unique white label login. There's a couple of different ways and mechanisms with which we can connect to kind of authenticate and validate people logging in. But the one that I'm promoting at the moment, just seeing some strong engagement from community, because we really do need to make it as simple as possible for parents. Often they're really overwhelmed. When they're coming to this, it could just be because they need some answers. So we can connect into systems and use library barcodes from library cards. I think there's more friction there because sometimes people don't know what they are or they're hard. Maybe there's a pin, maybe there's this. And we also just make it as simple as like postcodes or postal codes from your area. So this is an example of Okanagan, and this is a postcode entry. So there's a specific URL that people have to click that they need to have access to, which is what the library would give or would be on, say, a library website. And a person would click on that and then they'll come to this page. Everybody knows their postal code. So it's logged into our system. So they come, put in their code, and then boom, they're in. It's that simple. And now I'm in to the ParentTV white label. The logo for the library is on the top left. And then we come here and we see different ages. So what we learned over the years of doing School Mum and the online communities is that parents really like to explore content based on the age of their kid because they feel like it's kind of relevant to them. So if I'm here and I say, oh, I've got a 2-year-old, I click on 2-year-old, and then I can kind of go through some of the information. And these are the latest videos that have popped up. So I might look at handling goodbyes, separation anxiety in school or childcare. This is Dr. Kayleen Henderson, a pediatric psychiatrist. I press play.
It can be so hard leaving your little one in a distressed state at daycare.
And that's a video I can watch that goes for 4 minutes on that. Now, if I really like Kayleen, I can also click on her name here, and that'll take me to her profile. And this is a little intro video where we hear about who she is, what makes her like an expert on the platform. And then all of her videos are on here as well that are Kayleen's videos that I can come and watch of hers. Now, you might see there's a few videos written in other languages. We do have videos available in 5 languages on the platform, including Hindi, Spanish, Mandarin, Cantonese, and Arabic. So I could click on this video here. If I'm Arabic speaking, I would, oh, that's Hindi, sorry. I would be able to read that. And
अपने बच्चों को डे केयर या स्कूल में परेशान अवस्था में
so we've actually filmed all of those translators and put them onto the videos. Another quick way just on the language part that you can get to is clicking here. You'll see there's also some categories here. If I just click on Cantonese, I'm taken to all of the Cantonese videos on the platform as well, all in the one place. So that's just to highlight that that's kind of there. As we do latest videos, they come up here. We put about 5 up a month there. And we also have these interactive courses available on ParentTV, which are really great. So parenting the first 5 years right, for example, I can click on that. This interactive course is going to load. We worked with instructional designers to do all of this. And this is where I learned a little bit about the expert. I host these courses because we have some live Q&As that we've recorded with parents just answering their questions. And then often with the courses, there's kind of like multiple kind of sections of those all leading into the one thing. So this one's, it starts with you, knowing your child, bringing it all together, sleep, feeding, aggression, and then introducing new people, sibling rivalry. So I would come here, press play.
Hello and welcome to week 1. I'm going to be your host, Dr. Vanessa Lapointe.
And so we can watch that video, and then there's just some reinforcing things here for parents around what's in that content, just to, I guess, speak to a variety of different ways people learn. And then there's often like a longer video in these that is a live Q&A.
Hello, everybody, and welcome.
And so we've had parents send in all their questions for these, so we're really getting to what parents are asking. And then we have downloads in these as well, of some of the key information in those live Q&As that parents can download. So those courses, I really love the courses. We've really worked hard to put these up from the range of from baby all the way to the teenage years. So there's something in here for everyone. Anxiety in our kids, teaching body safety and consent, parenting our teen and tween girls, the do's and don'ts of discipline, the guide to bullying, how to talk to kids about suicide, managing technology in the home. So you can see understanding teen mental health. There's just some really great topics that parents are looking for support on, understanding your neurodivergent child, looking after yourself and well-being as a new parent. So they can come and they have access to all of that through courses. And then we have series as well, which is where it's not just one video. It will be, so Autism Explains, like a series of videos that kind of all build on each other. But again, they're just 5 to 10 minutes. But yeah, that's really great. Parents can also come and search as well. So if they come, I just searched anxiety. All the videos that have anything to do with anxiety will come up, and they can kind of, how to know when anxiety is becoming a problem for your child. They can just click on that, watch the video. So yeah, that's the platform. In some ways, it's pretty basic. That's the point in terms of just getting around and just helping to point parents in the direction of content that's relevant to their children, that will be helpful just in terms of helping understand child development. And so over here as well, we have these, so if I click on mental health, categories, and they all align to ages, and yeah, you can kind of come and find what you're looking for. So the next thing I just want to show you quickly is we have a backend for libraries and regions. So for those that are subscribed, they get access to their own admin backend, and that admin backend gives them real-time data showing them how many videos have been watched that week, that month, that year, and you can see this graph here. And also underneath that, there is an actual breakdown of the specific videos that have been watched in the last week. So you can change that report to be whatever it is that you want that to be. And you can export that. That's videos, you can see what experts have been the most popular or what category of videos watched. So you get access to all of the information on that data, with data as well, just to track that usage and how that's all going. So something else that we do in terms of supporting libraries is we create some marketing resources for you as well. So this is just an example of Clearview Library District that I just wanted to show you, but we provide you with flyers like this, which have your logo on it and a QR code that people can scan, and that takes them to the URL that's for your library, and then they put in their postcode if that's, so it's just really easy. There's also kind of bookmarks as well that you can print out and that have the QR code on them. You can have in your library, hand out to people. And again, that QR code's just going to your library's URL. And hopefully if people know their passcode, they'll have everything they need to be able to access it. These are just A3 posters you can print out and put around, even pull-up posters. So yeah, we create lots of resources that just make it really easy for you to be able to get it in front of parents and share it out. I also just want to show you this, which is something else we do, is we create a weekly social media sharing pack. So whoever in your library is responsible for comms would go onto this list, and every week on Monday, this would come into their inbox. And this will give you a video that you can share on Facebook that is like a reel. This one's on child development, that's specifically from the white label, just highlighting the resources, but also giving really helpful information. We also will give you 2 quote cards, and generally it's themed every week. So this week it's a bit themed to language development. You know, conversation builds language. When children feel heard, they are more likely to listen. So there'll just be some little kind of quotes on those you can use. There'll also be a blog post that you can share and a full video understanding how children learn to speak. So that's an example of one thing. So there's always a video, a long video, 2 quote cards and a blog post, and you can do with that whatever you like. So it highlights things in the resource for you as the library, but it also just gives you tangible links and things that you can share. And we just know people love this email. If ever we kind of forget to share it or it doesn't go out, we will get emails saying, hey, just checking the email's coming. So people really, this does make your life easier just to keep the flow of content going out to social media. And this is really just parent support stuff. So that can be super helpful as well. So there is the white label, and then there is the back end, and there's that. One last thing I just want to highlight is that we also last year released a documentary called Scene, which is a part of our ParentTV kind of group of products, which we have opened up to any libraries who are subscribed to ParentTV. It's not available on the ParentTV white label because it's still, like, it's been in cinemas and doing all different things, but we open it up for community screenings to be used as a tool to actually host screenings with your community of this documentary to start the conversation around parent support. And then pretty much having ParentTV is a really good next step for people after watching this documentary. So this documentary has done really well. We've had over 400 community screenings in libraries and schools and early learning centres, tens of thousands of parents watch it. I am just going to play you the trailer. It only goes for 2 minutes, but once you see what it is and how it connects into the parenting conversation and how libraries can really use that in their support, it kind of speaks for itself.
I was saying all the right things. I'm doing what the book says to do, and it's still not working.
I left the older kids when they were just 2 and 4. It haunts me, because there's many years that I can't get back.
I was all about power and control dominance. I yelled at my kids for the smallest things.
I wasn't reacting as bad as what I was brought up with, so I thought I was doing better.
Yeah, to know yourself, you have to know where you come from. And to know where you come from, it means knowing your own parenting.
I just snapped at her more. I just spoke to her more rudely because that's what happened to me. And that's what happened to my mum. And that's probably what happened to her mum's mum.
You cannot use logic to escape the programming of your own childhood.
As adults, we are juggling all the balls and we find it really hard to attune to our children.
How do I make sure that parents understand I'm not being generous in saying, I need you to think about your own mental health. I actually need you to do it for this kid.
Your children have come to trigger you to heal.
We're always looking somewhere else for the problem, and I did that for 20 years. But this is where the real gold lies. We always talk about leaving your house as a legacy. I've scrapped all of that. I say you're leaving yourself in them as a legacy. And that is the most beautiful gift that keeps on giving forever.
So that is Scene, and this is the website for Scene, scenethefilm.com. And there's lots of information about the film on here. There's a lot in there. It's had a really beautiful response, a lot of compassion in there, kind of bringing to the light of day a tricky conversation for a lot of parents, really, which is about how significant we are in the lives of our children, and and also just a bit of reflection about kind of what happened to us and how that might be showing up in how that's being passed forward to our kids, and what we want to do with that. And then ParentTV obviously being a really great resource that can help support the what next after seeing that film. This is just a little bit about the film as well. But I'm going to stop sharing my screen, come back and say hi. And that's pretty much the kind of suite of ParentTV tools, resources and support, how we support libraries, and the different things available. So I don't know if anyone has any questions, or I hand back to you, Mark, and you can kind of have a little bit of a Q&A. But yeah, that's kind of ParentTV.
Thank you, Sam. That was wonderful. What I love just about ParentTV and Scene is just, as a parent, there's these tidbits of information that just, really help you to make those smallest little changes that really make you think about your actions, even as a parent, how you respond, and you realize how impactful that is. That's one of the things, just personally, that's really come to light for me as a parent using the platform, and I think a lot of other parents would probably find the same.
Yes, we have been around for a while, so that's probably a significant piece. I'm not sure if many libraries are connected into like schools and early learning centers that in their communities as well, but we know it's a really great resource that you can support some of those institutions with as well, with access, because my husband's actually a primary school teacher. But there's a lot happening in those institutions as well in terms of just support of children, even for educators, understanding what's going on, particularly with mental health, and knowing where to look and how to hand that support over to people or tell them kind of where to go. So there's so much opportunity with this. I even know in some libraries when they have their parenting groups, or they might be having story time in person, they've actually done like a ParentTV session where they've put on the screen just a 5-minute video. They've watched that with the parents who are there and then just had a bit of a discussion. So they're all different ways that it can be used, and in programming as well, just in terms of in the library as a tool. And we do have available like a ParentTV. It's like a 1 hour loop of videos. So if people did have TVs or screens in waiting rooms or sitting around somewhere, we can give you a loop that goes for about an hour. It's got subtitles on it so that there doesn't need to be audio, and that can just be playing videos on loop as well. So yeah, lots of different touch points of how you can integrate that just to support your communities.
That's right. That's one of the things I've really enjoyed working with the libraries who are using ParentTV, is that, you know, as a resource, ParentTV has not been something that's just locked down to library patrons. You know, having the zip code authentication, that's always really valuable, especially for undocumented patrons, or for just patrons who just don't know their library card number. Everybody knows their zip code. But, you know, those reels, you know, being put in doctor's office or medical facilities or being partnered up with the school districts is really impactful. So I'd love to open it up for questions if there are any questions. And I'm just gonna maybe add one more quick thing here, is that you know, as learners engaged, you know, one of the things we do, you know, of course, we'll want to make sure we provide you, anybody who's interested with a trial, with any additional information. But if there are small library systems here, you know, say 6,000-7,000 population less, we do have a program called EIG Connect, which is Engage, Innovate, Grow. And it's our approach of working with publishers and partners to make sure that content is equitable and accessible for those smaller libraries. And you know, if you'd like to have a trial or a consultation around ParentTV, you can feel free to scan this QR code. But any questions would be absolutely lovely.
Mark, I had a question come in here. Can you pull the videos out of the ParentTV environment and put them in other places for consumption?
Yes, I can answer this. I will. Hey, Mark, if you let me, I will quickly share my screen and show you how easy that is. So I know that I showed everybody this white label, the admin access. So this is only accessible to your library admin, but when you get this access up here, you'll see it says assets. So if you click on assets, this will come up. This is listing out all of the assets available on your white label. So all you need to do, and we give you all the directions for this, is you come here and you click on videos. That's going to filter out all the videos. And you have to know what video you might be looking for. So I'm just going to put anxiety. I can type that if it's in the title. So understanding and dealing with separation anxiety, for example, I might want to share that video outside of the white label. All I do is come find that video. I press embed link, that's copied it to my computer. And if I come over here and I paste that link, that player pops up and I can just watch this video
Separation anxiety.
in my browser without needing to be logged into the white label. And the reason you have to do that is because this contains your license key for your patrons, which just means
one of those
that that's tracking the data to say they're watching it. So we want you to know who's watching what. So that contains your specific license key, but you can embed that link like you embed a YouTube link. So if you have a website for your library and a blog or a page, you can embed that link into that and the video is going to pop up and people will just be able to play it on your page. You can send that in an email and no one has to log in to watch it and it's all tracking back to you. So you have the entire database available and we're more than happy for you to use videos like that to promote the resource and to get it out there to give people kind of a taster of what that is. So great question. And yes, you can do that. And that's how you do it. It's super simple.
Thank you, Sam. Another
worries.
question came in about ADA compliance. Can you tell us what accessibility standard Parent TV meets currently and maybe where it's going?
Yes. So we currently, I'm never quite sure of all the language, but the WCAT, I think we're at an AA standard. Is that, Mark? I know you know I sent you this, but I'm never clear on the language.
So I know WCAG 2.2 AA compliance.
Yeah, so that's where we're at the moment, and we can send some documentation on that. And I know we were looking at something even recently about something by April 1 and looking at, I don't know, what was that, Mark?
No, just the actual VPAT document, which we're working on, but we do know that the platform right now is at 2.2 AA compliance. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just looking.
And
so Vicky, yeah.
Sorry. Yep, go ahead.
Just to clarify, people don't need to have a library card to access this. No, it's your choice as a library. So you can decide that we want to have access via library card, or you can decide we're happy for our patrons to have access via postal code. I can just tell you from experience and looking at the data, the libraries that choose to make it as easy as possible for people to log in get better usage and engagement. Those that where there's more barriers to log in and there's passwords and pins and barcodes and library, all of that, it's the usage is just a bit less. So, but the choice is yours.
We have a question from Jesse on how can she get access? We will reach out to you immediately after this webinar and help you with that.
It's available in all countries. So it's a worldwide platform, Monique, that is available on the internet. So we are working with libraries. We are working with people in Hong Kong. Like the screenings wise, we've had screenings in Belgium, Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, the US, Canada. So yeah, it's pretty much available everywhere.
Very global. One of the things I can mention too is that we have seen some public libraries work with community partners. So for example, in the Okanagan Regional Library, here in Canada, they are partnered up with a preventative health organization, and so that's been really well taken. And so I mean, if you are looking for partnerships in your community, that could also be a nice way to extend library reach and resources.
So someone's asked about the marketing materials. Yeah, so when you sign up, we set all of that up for you and we send you an onboarding pack that has all of the links to that in there. So yeah. Christine, I don't know if you're a family place library. Something in my instinct says maybe you are, because you're asking where do I get that?
Yeah, we are a family place library.
Yeah. Just send me an email to sam@parenttv.com. You would have received if you're signed up, you would have received an email at some point after that, but possibly you could have missed it, or maybe it didn't go to the right person, or so just send me an email. Yeah.
Could have been several years ago too, and who knows where it did. Okay.
Where it went. And I'll just send you that because we have all of the links for the family place libraries with all of the access to everything you need.
Those weekly updates as well. Excellent. Any additional questions? Wonderful questions. Thank you. All right. Well, oh, there we go. All right, there's a question from Sylvia. Sam, are we able to share the scene film with individual patrons instead of screening?
At this point, we have just been doing community screenings. I mean, I'm always open to the conversation. We have a mechanism to do it that's through a platform we use called Kinema. It's just because they're delivering a service, we kind of have to purchase a license to do it through them. But what we recommend libraries can do is they can actually do online screenings. So still having it potentially as an event, but the way that you can make it a little bit easier for people who maybe can't attend in person is to have it like at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night as an online screening. People can jump on from home and watch it. But at this stage, it has just been community screening events just because access is really difficult to give to individual parents at this stage.
Joan asked a quick question. So schools would work for a community partner? Just wanting to make sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Schools are a great community partner and really need the help and support with this, which if you chat to them, you'll kind of find out.
Wonderful. Yeah, we've seen ParentTV being used in a lot of different programs, seen everything from foster parenting programs to schools to penitentiaries. It's been really amazing to see how the content has been used in so many different scenarios.
Yes, it has been used lots. So it's been really great to see all the different ways, community organisations, foster care, even prisons, military families. So there's just lots of different demographics of people who it can be really helpful for.
Well, if there's not any more questions, we will send a follow-up email with a recording to today's session. Sam, I'd like to thank you so much for waking up early in
Oh, no
time.
worries. I know my family is starting. I can hear. I'm like my family's starting to wake up. I was up at 5:30. There's 5 of us in here. I'm like, oh, they're starting to emerge. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, and thank you everybody for joining in. We'll send, like I said, we'll send a follow-up email, and if there's anything we can do for you, don't be afraid to reach out. We're grateful for your attention today. So thanks again.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.